Hi everyone, welcome back to the Web3 channel. My name is Zach. In this video, we're going to be looking at the latest NFT collection that iJustine seems to be very interested in and therefore has been showing public support. We've seen iJustine talk about different projects in the Web3 space over the past few months. It's been interesting to see her really get into it, and I thought we would have a look at some of the projects that she's looking at, specifically here, the psychedelic NFT project. So let's have a look. Okay, they finally loaded 371, 2652, and 7205, so different mints, essentially hyped about the pink, purple accents, and we see right here the different NFTs that she has bought. Very, very interesting. And then more recently today, 5570, welcome to the fam. We can see, of course, I am not your screenshot, legal, our trial of free, speech has expired, etc. Okay, so I wanted to have a look at what project iJustine is looking at. What is she supporting here? So it looks like she's supporting Psychedelics Anonymous, Psychedelic NFT. After at the 0 hour, we gather in the darkness, seeking refuge from the counterfeit dreams of our clockwork lives. We are the night. So interesting messaging right here. This one was sold, I believe, 28 minutes ago. Sold for 13 ETH, it looks like. So definitely some interesting stuff happening here. And I think at some point, actually, we may even tomorrow at 3 a.m. Oh, I might even record that. I may well record that for you all to watch. Okay, so looking at the website itself, we see here Psychedelics Anonymous. I'm going to go through the website. I've already done it myself, but we're going to go through it together. We are the night. Let's have a look through the entire website, and there'll be things that you're interested in and things that you want, but we'll do it together. We are the night, beneath the daylight where we sleep, the orchestral avalanche of passing cars and the mechanical grind of the system that enslaves has left us haunted and empty. As we push and pull, we rise and fall into the crowded noise like static, the constant clouding of our sunshine minds. Mute days descend into tired months, repetition of existence. Only the shroud of night offers salvation, the blackened blanket, starving off the apocalypse of isolation. At the 0 hour, we gather the darkness, searching in a path to outer worlds and escape from the counterfeit dreams of our clockwork lives. Howling like wolves in synchronous serenade, we seek out the machines, the ghostly shrines we are waking up. Interesting, what you would call lore, I would guess, which is LORE, storyline behind this project. The connection, the machines, dark, dormant, monuments obscured by the routine grind of the masses and their diluted system bred reveries await nightfall in reverent quietude. The obscure obsidian silhouettes are contrasted by singular illumination. Have a good trip, Psychedelics Anonymous. When the raven there are so many words here I don't even know, I'll be honest with you. When the raven firmament descends, the machines are alive, transformed into rapturous neon monoliths whispering the cure for our contaminated fantasies. We keep midnight moving, vending the masks with our hallowed tokens, stripping our pseudo skin with some sort of sanctitude. We can hear the world shift on its axis, racing through time with decentralized velocities towards the strange remedy. The mask breathes kaleidoscopes, connecting us to the others in a paragon tapestry of arm-like membraned affinities. The mycelium, the communication network of cycling souls. Is that correct? Silicon souls? Cradled with the embrace of each other, we are connected. The shared dream, we are called to hide. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this right now, to be quite honest with you. But definitely some interesting lore happening that you can look at if you'd like to. Let's have a look at what's actually happening though. So let's have a look at the collections for one. You can of course see the Genesis collection. Genesis PFP NFT grants holders the highest level of Psychedelics Anonymous membership. At the 0 hour, we gather. So basically, you can buy it on OpenSea, and you can buy it on Luxray, and you have different metaverse passes, IRL pass, and something else here. Moving on, we have the roadmap. Let's have a look at the team real quick. So we have here Lewis Gale, who is a BAYC owner, founder of Voltura Labs, managing director at Voltura. With over 10 years experience in marketing, idea generation, and execution, Lewis built Voltura.com into a prosperous, non-traditional advertising agency, working daily with a number of high-profile NASDAQ-listed businesses with a combined value of over $53 billion in market capitalization. Lewis is no stranger to pressure. After 2 successful exits and a lucrative business built over the last 6 years, the pivot to Web3 was inevitable as 6-month immersion into research within the NFT space revealed the time was right for Voltura Labs to be established. Lewis will be stepping down as MD of Voltura to focus on Voltura Labs. Then we have the creative director, Bain NFT, who's a storyteller, over 20 years worth of work with it. And then we have James Manning, who is CEO and founder of Nasdaq Limited, sustainable Bitcoin miner. So some interesting Web3 experience there. And then we have CCO at Mawson Infrastructure Group, a CCO of NASDAQ listed sustainable Bitcoin miner. And yeah, very interesting stuff right there. And then we have Kate Mahoney, event manager, Voltura Labs. Kate is a passionate and motivated individual who strives for excellence in all parts of life, and then has some interesting CV right there. So awesome stuff. But what I really want to look at right now actually is the roadmap specifically and what's happening with this, right? So for when we have donation, we will financially support an organization providing psychedelic assisted therapy. Genesis Mint, our first collection release. Donation, we will financially support an organization providing that therapy. Support Everyone Needs Help. We will onboard community support members to deliver mental health support to our holders. Then we're looking at games, IRL, and virtual play-to-earn challenges will determine our path in the psychedelic metaverse. Ascension, The Chosen Shall Rise, We Are the Night. The Anonymous Support Network, social gatherings, fitness clubs, and events for our holders. So definitely a community thing going on here, right? Then we have strategic investment into an organization researching and developing psychedelic therapies again. Our Web3 accelerator will have 1 million of capital funding available to people and projects we believe in. That's going to happen most likely. Nothing, to be clear, is financial advice, but I can see there's so much money in this space right now. Burn the ego, decisions have consequences. Then we have a real utility to build our ecosystem with Psy. The divine entities, consequences have significance, donation, and the machines, DAO, our ecosystem expands into a decentralized autonomous organization, then the metaverse, and then explore the unknown. Okay, and then finally, let's have a look at the process. We are all innovators, we are all aspiring and pushing for change, a different way of doing things. How? By practically implementing ideas that will result in the introduction of a new wave of NFT projects and collections alike. Let's be clear, this is not a copy-paste. What sets apart? 2 main points: willingness to do the hard, tiring work, and team experience, out-of-the-box thinking, history of long-term success. A collective 85 plus years of design, creativity, business ops, financial understanding, commercial know-how, and idea generation wrapped into 7 core individuals. There are 4 pillars we want to touch on that provide context to all the decisions we've made. Scale. To make a real difference, we need scale. By examining some of the most successful collections, you'll identify a common trend of delayed community expansion. The BAYC realized that they needed a larger community and thus introduced mutants. Why? Because a bigger community will make a bigger difference. The NFT space is rapidly expanding at a rate none of us can really fathom. In the last week, we've learned of Adidas, Nike, Pepsi, etc. joining in. In addition, we have other milestones like Coinbase, NFT Marketplace, and all the rest. Sure, we'll go through ups and downs. We saw crazy volume a few months ago, but continued growth is coming, whether you like it or not, and who doesn't like the concept of space becoming more recognized. So how can we prepare for this as a new project? By creating more utility based, essentially. So looking at the utility, trends are remarkable to watch. We've seen collections exploding off the basis of a token to the point where the BAYC were being hassled so much about it, they released a statement explaining their perspective, which is unusual for them. The heat around tokens has significantly died down since then. Shortly after that became the Metaverse Rush projects, promising to create the next metaverse of 2022 or building a metaverse into the roadmap for increased hype and demand generation. Games like Wolf Game appeared and quickly paved the way for hundreds of copycat projects with improved features and better contacts. Throw in a week of events in NYC and Miami, providing members of specific communities who could attend and be rewarded with incredible value in the form of networking experiences and free drinks, to just name a few. However, the majority of holders attending these events was simply not feasible due to COVID restrictions and other restrictions. We can all agree that it's an incredible movement to watch. Looking at the pricing, from the beginning, we want to make psychedelics anonymous, reasonably accessible. We need to balance our ability to raise funds and our execution, our mission, while also setting a price that allows people to get in. Our pricing has been heavily considered over the last 6 months. Last night, I found myself talking to a trusted community member, using them as a sounding board for our pricing topic. Someone you will know, love. Instead of wrapping our collection into one set of 10,000 and selling it for 1 ETH or 0.5 ETH, we split it up so that community members can buy what suits them best, because having access to an event in major city is useless unless you live in there. Foundations. A project's foundation will quickly become one of the first and most important elements the community will research in order to make a decision on if they'll participate or not. A collection with strong foundations reduces risks. That's no secret. Any project aspiring to be a long-term success needs a tax and legal foundation. They need to understand their obligations. We will continue to be as transparent as possible with legal and tax structures, giving confidence to you. Let's face it, the regulation is coming to crypto and NFT space, as we've spoken about on this channel. So I still don't quite know what the plan is here. I'll be honest, I've read through this quite quickly, but in order to know what's roughly coming up. So component number 2, the second component required to access the Psychedelics Anonymous P2E game experience is a course to basically buy one, I'd assume, so connect to your wallet and get onto it. So what are your thoughts on this? I'd like to hear your take. I just wanted to basically do a bit of reading out what's going on with this stuff. Of course, like I say, iJustine is definitely interested in this. So my guess is that, and I don't know this, so this is not me saying this has happened. This is me saying that I'm guessing that iJustine has spoken with the team, and maybe they've said something and told her stuff that makes her bullish. So like I say, not financial advice, and I'm not saying iJustine has said that specifically, just looking through what she has tweeted about. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If this video is interesting or helpful to you in any way, shape or form, a like is always much appreciated. Make sure to subscribe to Web3 for everything happening in the Web3 space, from crypto, NFT, and metaverse news. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next Web3 video.